Our third respondent is Eva Maria Freinberger. Hello. And she seems to represent more or less exactly the topic that Ivan just spoke about. She's a student, although she obtained a master's degree, as I see, 3 years ago at the International University of Vienna. She was raised in Germany, studied translation, German, English, Portuguese, and has taken part in movements and activist circles with creative names such as Clandestine Insurgent Rebel Clown Army, is that true? The Curious Circus Collective, Realis, Brain Squatting, and Cooperation. Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
You look so skeptical.
I think it was just from my resume, and well, it got mixed up a bit, but it's okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, I think it's my task in this respondence to bring the topics raised here down to the actual world, and well, I can do so only within my world, so my reality. And I am a student. Sure, but I'm also an activist, and I think it's interesting to see it from a direct action protest movement, protest perspective as well. And even in Austria, a country with relatively little social pressures and with a quite stable political environment, you can experience grassroots activism, I think. And I would also like to add the creative dimension to activism, which is also a really interesting and important one that maybe may juice up the topic a bit. Well, first of all, I'd like to address your claim that the trust in democratic institutions has collapsed. Well, fair enough, it maybe has. And you also claim that political protest offers no feasible solutions for the problems the protest is voicing. Well, that is that protest doesn't really provide with recipes how to solve problems, and doesn't really tackle the core of the reasons of uprisings. But I think that even so, protest movements don't really provide a panacea for whatever goes wrong in society. I think it's about the people who involve in protests that really benefit from protesting, because they become politicized through their very involvement in protests, and we can't underestimate that effect of protesting. It's a really huge thing, I think. And I don't speak of political coloring here in no way. I think it's about emotion and passion and involvement that you bring into a movement, and that makes people who once experienced a movement, a squad, I don't know, any kind of direct action thing, that those are the people who won't give up on participation, on political participation for the rest of their lives. So maybe they go to the voting booths and vote blank, or I don't know, but at least they think about what they do. They think about what happens. So I think it's not the... well, I think it's a great benefit from activism that it makes you really think and decide, and you're what's the word? You're aware of what you do. So, well, my arguing is that protests may not be sustainable in the long run. I think you said that it's a moment and not a movement. Yeah, but I think a moment sometimes really is enough to awake someone, to really set a spark on someone. Yeah, and I also would like to take your point of the self-reflectiveness of such grassroots movements, that people involving most of the time stay within their peer groups and don't really change society. I think that's more or less how you. And well, I thought it was kind of a negative point of way of saying it, that that protesting prevents society from really changing, because the catharsis is, I think, is a pejorative word. I would put it differently. I would say that, well, since democracy is about people changing their views in the course of discussions and gatherings and so on, direct democracy really is the center of that. So you can name it catharsis. You can say people only go to the streets to blow steam off and then are okay with it. But you can also take the other perspective and say it's more of a rehearsal of change. You try to you want to change. You try it again, and yeah, as I said, it's more or less like rehearsing. You got the point. Yeah. Well, I think I'll leave it at that. I had something to say about the university's role or the university's environment and what the environment has to provide for social movements to take place, but I think you already covered that, so well, that's me.
Yeah, thank you very much.